Ladies and gentlemen, I'm abiding by YouTube policies, simply reading from public record, reputable sources about a Supreme Court ruling in Wisconsin that took place today. Just to abide by guidelines, I'm just going to read most of the article titles, but not all. I'll leave out one word. Just to play it safe, Slate Magazine, Wisconsin Supreme Court bans boxes and calls our current president's victory illegitimate. That's Slate Magazine. CNN, Wisconsin Supreme Court prohibits use of boxes. NBC News, Wisconsin Supreme Court bars boxes. NPR, boxes are illegal in Wisconsin. Okay, this is exactly what President Trump wanted. He is celebrating now on Truth Social. So he's released numerous statements pertaining to his viewpoint of what took place 2 years ago, which is, of course, contested and, not the viewpoint of the Democratic Party and fact-checking organizations and media and good, decent, civilized people. But this is a huge victory. Political victory for Donald Trump. Huge. And from President Trump's perspective, not my own, from President Trump's perspective, and I'm playing it safe. There's not even a comment section here. From President Trump's perspective, if support comes later in the evening from Democratic strongholds, then the Democratic Party will literally never lose. That's according to President Trump's perspective. Okay, and this Supreme Court ruling makes it difficult for that dystopian continual, never-ending outcome to flourish, if that even makes any sense. So, what President Trump was saying before and after that day 2 years ago, that evening 2 years ago, is that, look, from his perspective, if you allow support to just trickle in, even if he's up, or even if a Republican is up, you wait a couple of hours and coincidentally, through an act of God, you have support from Democratic strongholds in cities that just always ends up boosting the Democrat into a last-second victory, and oh my goodness, oh my God, the power of democracy, and the people have spoken. Okay, so that's President Trump's perspective. Not my own, but President Trump's perspective. And the issue of suspicion is the following, or the topic of suspicion, like, there's the old Elvis song, Suspicious Minds. You cannot dispute, or you cannot condemn Trump for feeling the way he does after you had zero evidence, utilizing a Steele dossier and utilizing a Alpha Bank story and utilizing a high to moderate confidence assessment of intelligence agents and chiefs. So if those intelligence chiefs sided with Trump 2 years ago, if they said, well, all of his claims are accurate, then what would you say, Democrats and media? You would say, well, that's just the ramblings and rantings of a partisan intel chief working for Trump. When it was President Obama's outgoing administration, you said, oh, well, that's just the rule of law. That's an authority, an appeal to an authority like James Clapper and John Brennan and Peter Strzok and James Comey and McCabe and all of these people. When it suits the Democratic Party and media, the appeal to authority is always pristine and wonderful and just and compelling. When it doesn't suit the Democratic Party, anyone who sides with Trump is just a sycophant, a loyalist, and the expertise is not relevant. So that's a little bit of what's going on. Also, they fabricated evidence, quote-unquote evidence. They purchased a dossier against Trump and used intelligence assessments with high confidence levels against Trump. There was no direct evidence he colluded or interfered with anyone, or that he defeated Clinton in any way that was criminal or corrupt. They suspect that still to this day without any direct evidence and without any real circumstantial evidence other than the DNC emails proving that Bernie Sanders was cheated and Debbie Wasserman Schultz being forced to resign. So other than that, I mean, and then saying, well, you know what, the Kremlin helped Trump by disclosing the DNC emails. It's like, well, yeah, any type of corruption within the Democratic Party is going to help their opponent. So, I mean, what do you expect? That's not necessarily a plot by another country. So you use basic logic. Basic logic dictates that this is all about suspicion. Democrats are suspicious of Trump. They're investigating him everywhere. They're getting Georgia officials, New York prosecutors, federal government, FEC officials. By the way, he didn't pay an FEC fine. You know who did? Clinton and the DNC for purchasing the Steele dossier, which was against FEC guidelines and laws and regulations. But anyway, if it's suspicion, if Trump's claims are, an impediment to democracy, then what about the claim? Yes, use whataboutism here, because it's called hypocrisy. It's when you point out that one political side or one person is being disingenuous, dishonest, duplicitous, and hypocritical. That's not called whataboutism. That is called look at your side and ask, why aren't you behaving in the manner you want Trump to behave? So Democrats say, how dare Trump, not accept the sanctity of results. You didn't with Trump and Clinton. And then you say, well, yes, we did, but we had to investigate if he was colluding with another country. It's like, no. What media did, like BuzzFeed published the Steele dossier. BuzzFeed would never have published any of Hunter's emails. Okay, here's the difference. BuzzFeed or a liberal publication won't ever publish the actual emails written by Hunter or his business associates to him, or, multinational corporations or shady billionaires or whatever to him. They will never publish those emails. They will never publish a voicemail where Joe knows that Hunter is doing business on his behalf. Okay, or talking about the business dealings of Hunter, even though he stated to the American public he never did. That's actual evidence that you can use in a court of law. Those emails you can use in a court of law. The Steele dossier was never used in a court of law. In fact, the only reason BuzzFeed got out of numerous lawsuits was by saying, well, it was a government document. The government used it. Well, so what? It was an outgoing Democratic administration. Are you kidding me? You think if Trump was investigating Mashed Potato Brains Joe, that they wouldn't say, this is the end of democracy, oh my God. But it's the epitome of democracy when James Clapper and John Brennan accuse Trump of colluding with another country because they feel it happened, because they have a confidence assessment. Those intel reports are not written with evidence. When John Brennan was asked, do you have evidence Trump colluded? He says, I don't do evidence, I do intelligence. I don't do evidence, I do intelligence. So, there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is a huge victory for President Trump. Not good for the Democratic Party. And it's the Wisconsin Supreme Court decision. So hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Nuclear Confrontation channel and Oil Prices 150. I have very important segments on those today. And also, should have a live stream later this evening at around, I would say, 9 p.m., 8:39 p.m. Pacific. So be here for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. This is a huge, huge political victory and for President Trump. And the pendulum is now swinging to... The Democrats will say, oh, well, this is suppression. It's like, no, it's not suppression. You have to go that day. How did we How on earth did we ever resolve who would become president before these contentious issues? Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now.